We've had to make some adjustments to the beach trip. Linda's voice dripped with artificial sweetness over the phone. The resort has limited capacity, and, well, your little ones are just so spirited. We think it would be best if they sat this one out. My grip tightened on the kitchen counter as I stared out the window at my kids, Emma, 8, Lucas, 6, and Sophie, 4, chasing each other in the backyard. They had been counting down the days to this trip, their sand buckets and swimsuits already packed. Just so I'm clear, Linda, I said evenly, keeping my voice steady, you're uninviting my kids from the family beach vacation while bringing all their cousins? Oh, Alexandra, don't be so dramatic, she sighed. Melissa's children are just more accustomed to upscale resorts, and Jessica's twins are, well, let's just say they fit the atmosphere better. We're staying at the Diamond Beach Club this year. It's quite exclusive. Of course, it was. Melissa's status at the country club probably secured the reservation. She never missed a chance to remind everyone about her husband's banking job or her designer wardrobe. The kids have been looking forward to this for months, I said, watching Sophie stomp around in her dinosaur print t-shirt. They even picked out special shells to give to their cousins. Well, maybe if you and David put more effort into discipline rather than letting them run wild. Linda trailed off, her words like a knife to the gut. Besides, everything is already arranged. Melissa's daughters need their own suite, and Jessica's twins require the ocean view. There just isn't space. I thought back to last year's trip, how my children were the ones helping clean up after meals while their cousins sat glued to tablets. How Emma had shared her beach toys with everyone. How Lucas had encouraged his younger cousin to wade into the ocean for the first time. Does David know about this? I asked, bringing up my husband. He understands it's for the best, Linda replied smoothly. The Diamond Beach Club has certain expectations. Laughter rang out from the yard. I turned to see Lucas had turned on the sprinkler, and all 3 kids were darting through the water, their giggles pure and uninhibited. No stiff postures, no rehearsed pleasantries, just real, unfiltered joy. You're right, Linda, I said finally, a slow calm settling over me. The Diamond Beach Club does have standards, and, thankfully, so do I. What's that supposed to mean? It means my children won't be anywhere they aren't fully welcomed. Enjoy your exclusive vacation. I ended the call before she could respond, my hands trembling, but my decision solid. My kids had no idea their grandmother had just deemed them unworthy of a family trip. That night, David found me sitting at the kitchen table after the kids were asleep. One look at my face, and he knew something was wrong. Your mom called, I told him. She uninvited our kids from the beach trip. Apparently, they aren't resort appropriate. His expression darkened. She did what? But Melissa's perfect daughters and Jessica's matching twins? Oh, they made the cut. I couldn't hide the bitterness in my voice. David exhaled sharply. I'll talk to her. I shook my head. No, I'm done trying to make your family see the value in our kids. They are kind, they are joyful, they are good. If that's not good enough for your mother's snobby resort, then we'll make our own plans. He studied me for a moment. What are you thinking? I opened my laptop, pulling up a familiar listing. Remember that little beach house we looked at last year? The one on Crystal Cove? It's still for sale. Alex, that's a big purchase. You know that inheritance I got from my grandmother? I wanted to save it for something meaningful. And what could be more meaningful than showing our kids they don't need anyone's approval to be worthy of something wonderful? As I scrolled through the photos of the charming little cottage, I thought about Linda's condescending tone, Melissa's elitist attitude, and all the times my children had been made to feel like outsiders in their own family. Besides, I added with a small smile, Crystal Cove is famous for its sea turtle nesting season. The kids will love that way more than some overpriced resort. David looked at the screen, then back at me. You're serious? Absolutely. Let them have their exclusivity. We'll create something real, a place where our kids will always belong. What I didn't mention was that I had already checked the summer weather reports. The Diamond Beach Club sat on a stretch of coastline prone to hurricanes. Crystal Cove, protected by a barrier island, was far safer, but that was their problem to figure out. As I sent an email to the realtor, my phone buzzed with a text from Linda. I hope you understand this is really for the best. The resort has such wonderful etiquette lessons for the other children. I didn't bother replying. Instead, I looked at the fridge, where snapshots of my kids were pinned, Emma helping at an animal shelter, Lucas grinning through a paint-splattered art project, Sophie proudly holding a jar of bugs she had collected. My wild, wonderful, perfectly imperfect children. Linda could keep her high society vacation, We were about to create something much more valuable, memories in a place where my kids would never have to shrink themselves to fit in. Little did I know, summer had other plans. The beach house purchase went through quicker than expected, and by June, we were the proud owners of a cozy 3-bedroom cottage right by the water. The kids' excitement when we revealed their new summer getaway made every sacrifice worth it. "We can see the sea turtles from here?" Emma asked, her nose pressed to the window of her new bedroom. "Better than that," I grinned. "There's a sea turtle conservation program, and I signed you up as junior volunteers." Their eyes sparkled with the kind of joy no 5-star resort could ever manufacture. Meanwhile, family group chats buzzed with vacation plans. Melissa boasted about her daughter's custom-made resort outfits. Jessica shared links to the Diamond Beach Club's elite amenities. Linda gushed about private cabanas and formal dining experiences. "Did you see Mom's latest post?" David asked one evening as we painted the kids' room a soft seafoam green. They hired an etiquette coach for the cousins before the trip. I snorted, because God forbid a child use the wrong fork while digging in the sand. Then, mid-June, the first sign of karma appeared, a weather advisory warning of unusual storm activity in the Atlantic. At first, Linda brushed it off, assuring everyone the resort had excellent indoor activities. 2 weeks before their trip, the forecast took a turn. My phone rang one morning. Linda's name flashed on the screen. "Alexandra," she began, her voice noticeably strained. "You've seen the weather reports?" "Yes, we've been keeping an eye on it for our area too. The Diamond Beach Club is taking precautions, they might have to cancel." Translation: the expensive, non-refundable vacation was crumbling. Melissa's custom resort wear would go unworn. "That's unfortunate," I said lightly, watching Lucas help Sophie build a sandcastle. "Crystal Cove is safe, protected by the barrier island. We're still moving forward with our plans." There was a long silence. "Well," Linda's voice turned sickly sweet, "since you have that cottage, perhaps we could all—" "Oh, Linda," I interrupted, matching her sugary tone, "I'm not sure it's up to resort standards. No etiquette classes, no private cabanas, and the kids might actually have to play in the sand." I could practically hear her jaw clench. Let them scramble, my kids were exactly where they belonged. I grinned at my phone, rereading Linda's last message. "Surely, you wouldn't want your more refined nieces and nephews to endure such rugged conditions?" I could almost hear her voice, laced with that signature blend of forced politeness and underlying condescension. A long pause stretched between us before she sighed. "Alexandra, let's be reasonable, we're family." I leaned against the kitchen counter, watching the kids chase each other barefoot in the sand. "Funny, I said the same thing when you uninvited them from your vacation." Over the next few days, the forecast grew more ominous. The inevitable finally happened. The Diamond Beach Club announced its temporary closure due to the incoming hurricane. No refunds, no rescheduling. Chaos erupted in the family group chat. "Melissa, this is a nightmare. The girls' resort outfits are useless now." Jessica, the twins were really looking forward to their supervised beach meditation sessions. Linda, "Alexandra, surely you understand the predicament we're in. Your cottage is the only viable option now." I let them stew for a while before replying. "I wish we could help, but we've already invited the kids' friends from the Sea Turtle program. They actually enjoy running barefoot, getting sandy, and playing tag on the beach. The cottage is quite full, but full of happy children enjoying summer the way it's meant to be." David, reading over my shoulder, let out a quiet chuckle. "You're ruthless." I smirked. "No, I'm a mother protecting her children's happiness. There's a difference." Not long after, a direct message from Linda appeared. "We've already lost our deposits. Is punishing the entire family really necessary over a simple misunderstanding?" I glanced at the latest picture on my phone, our kids, covered in sand, helping a marine biologist mark a new turtle nest. Their smiles were radiant, their hands caked in proof of an unforgettable experience. "No punishment," I wrote back, "just a lesson in priorities. The kids made shell wind chimes today. Such a shame their cousins won't be here to make their own, but I'm sure the resort's etiquette classes will be just as fulfilling." I attached the photo. David wrapped his arms around my waist as we watched the chat bubbles flicker. Linda, Melissa, and Jessica struggling to craft a response. "You know they'll hold this against us forever," he murmured. "Maybe," I admitted, "but our kids will remember this summer as the one where they learned their joy doesn't need anyone's approval, and that's worth every ounce of family drama." Outside, a baby sea turtle wobbled its way to the water, our kids cheering it on. Meanwhile, Their cousins in used resort wear and forgotten etiquette lessons faded into irrelevance. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't about getting even, it's about building something better. And as another hurricane alert popped up on my phone, I couldn't help but admire nature's sense of timing. The storm that changed everything. The hurricane hit the Diamond Beach Club hard, flooded villas, damaged facilities, and an indefinite closure notice. Linda's non-refundable deposits were gone. Meanwhile, Crystal Cove remained untouched, its natural barrier island shielding it from the worst. Our little beach house became a haven of laughter, learning, and memories. The kids helped protect turtle nests, led cleanup efforts, and bonded with conservationists. Then came the moment that tipped everything over the edge, a feature in the local paper, showcasing the Turtle Patrol volunteers. Front and center were our children, sandy and sun-kissed, passionately explaining their work to a reporter. The comments flooded in. Such incredible kids, future marine biologists in the making. This is the kind of vacation that changes lives. Linda's response was predictable. I suppose some children are just better suited to outdoor activities. I smiled, fingers poised over my phone. Yes, some children prefer making an impact over making appearances. Later that evening, David found me on the deck, watching the waves. Mom's in shambles, he chuckled, sitting beside me. Melissa's girls are refusing to wear their resort outfits now. They want Turtle Patrol shirts instead. I laughed. How tragic. Designer fashion, defeated by t-shirts and purpose. A change of heart. The breaking point came when a national magazine covered the Sea Turtle program, featuring our kids in action. Linda's call came almost immediately. I suppose you think you've won. I exhaled, watching our children play in the surf. This was never a competition, Linda. My kids don't need a luxury resort to know their worth. We could have given them connections, opportunities. They've made their own connections with scientists, conservationists, and people who value substance over status. That's the kind of opportunity that matters. As summer ended, we packed up our cottage, hearts full and spirits high. Emma carefully gathered a jar of seashells. Can we give these to the cousins? She asked. They looked kind of sad in their pictures. Pride swelled in my chest. Despite everything, her first instinct was kindness. Of course, sweetheart, maybe next summer, they'll want to join you on Turtle Patrol. Then, the final twist of fate, an announcement from the Diamond Beach Club. Permanently closed due to hurricane damage. Linda's investment? Gone. Meanwhile, Crystal Cove's conservation program was thriving, its success highlighted in another feature article. This time, the photo showed our children gently releasing a hatchling into the sea. At a strained family dinner months later, Linda sighed. I suppose there's something to be said for simpler vacations. I met her gaze. There's something to be said for valuing people exactly as they are. The next summer, our cottage hosted more than just our kids. Melissa's daughters and Jessica's twins joined the Turtle Patrol too. Designer outfits were swapped for t-shirts and sun hats. Tablet time was replaced with early morning hatchling watches. Even Melissa had to admit that her girls were happier here than at any exclusive resort. One evening, as we all sat around the bonfire, roasting marshmallows, Linda appeared beside me. I was wrong, she admitted quietly, about the kids, about everything. I nodded. Yes, you were, but they're teaching us something, aren't they? That true worth isn't about being resort appropriate, it's about being real, passionate, kind. As laughter rang through the night and the last baby turtle disappeared into the waves, I knew one thing for certain. We had built something priceless. A place where children could be children. Where joy wasn't measured by etiquette or exclusivity. Where the only standard that mattered was the one written in the sand, authenticity. And sometimes, the best revenge isn't about making others regret their choices. It's about creating something so beautiful, they wish they had chosen differently. See you in the next story. Stay tuned.